Lamar,
No.
thank you for coming to our
No worries.
Evolutions Treatment Center. Thank you. We have 150 clients out there that are dying to see you.
Wow.
Also, I'm a big fan of the Heat myself, and I remember sitting in the front watching you.
Yeah, we had a great run.
Yeah, you did. We enjoyed those times.
Thank you.
So again, thank you for really coming here, and it's a pleasure for me to interview you. I have my own What's Up and YouTube channel, and we have over 20,000 followers. So I explained to the people about the interview, and I speak a lot about spirituality. I just want to go into a little bit about how much spirituality plays effect on your addiction. How much did spirituality play effect on your addiction?
Overcoming the addiction or living in the addiction?
Living in addiction, in general.
Well, I think being the spiritual person that I am made me shameful, especially when I didn't know that. Before I knew that addiction was a brain disease, and I just try to, create the right environment for me to fight that disease. And I didn't really know until I just got with this young lady who I just got engaged to, and it's been a problem.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no problem. That I had a real serious problem, and when Ellie took me to was it you taking?
Mm-hmm.
Was the
You don't have to mention the group, but it was a recovery group.
yeah, it was a recovery group, and hearing everyone give their testimony, I'm like, I'm nudging her, like,
That sounds familiar.
yeah, it's something to talk about me and to me.
Right.
So that's when I realized
Right.
she probably was the perfect mate for me.
Nice.
Well, forever now, because we're married.
There you go.
Right? Yeah.
That's one thing. When I got divorced in Miami,
Yeah.
I right away got married 60 days later.
Wow.
Because I know my spirituality and my relationships, is definitely very connected.
Yeah.
I don't think you can expect to be in this town and be with a bunch of women and expect to have a real spiritual experience.
Yeah,
and I think that's the right call.
Yeah, it started to hit me. My grandmother used to always tell me, "You're all who your friends are." And so, if I have a friend that likes watching porn,
Right.
loves a strip club, then it's easy for me to cross them up the friend list.
Right. One thing about spirituality that I've recognized, that spiritual people are happy with less. So the only real way to fix something in life is to be spiritual, because otherwise there's never enough of anything. There's never enough money. There's never enough ego.
Yeah, and there was one guy that I met at the recovery meeting who said that no woman can compete with porn.
Yeah.
And then, just talking to Ellie, I never really recognized or understood the connection between porn and sex trafficking, human trafficking. So once I found that out, that it was easy for me to say, because God forbid that if my daughter made a mistake,
Sure.
made a tape with some guy and ended up on Pornhub or something like that probably did go to jail.
Right. But one thing, like we like really in recovery or staying sober, you obviously need tons of prayer, and without properly, watching our eyes, it's very hard, because you try to pray. Next thing you know, these images come on.
It's everywhere.
So it leads you to not even want to pray, where you really need the help.
Yeah.
So it's such a big impact, and I'm glad Ellie and you guys are talking about. I believe you guys having an event Saturday night in Miramar, because there's so many people that I would say medically they're it's called brain fog, but it's really the effect of porn in today's youth. It throws your dopamine levels 300-400%. You can't even focus.
Yeah.
And without that, there's no entry for spirituality.
Yeah, I can imagine, like in school, there's probably kids doing their tests.
Right. Correct.
At the same time.
Right. But there's usually that secondary problem, which is the porn and the masturbation. That's really, again, that's one of the things I talk about in recovery.
Yeah.
It's like I need your brain here.
Yeah.
If your brain's somewhere else, how are you going to recover?
Yeah.
You know, and then what do we recover? We're recovering to our best version of ourselves, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to just be.
Yeah, best version of yourself.
Best version of myself.
Right.
You know, for myself and for my children.
Right.
That's what I live for.
Right. Beautiful. Another thing is, you know, when I recognize that I myself relapsed 7 times gambling. And there's
I
was gambling, addicted to gambling. But I recognized it was the woman behind me that got me to gamble. Because it was, you know, I was like, why am I gambling so much?
You probably weren't sitting at the table by yourself.
No, exactly.
I can imagine.
Correct. And that, you know, in Miami, they sell condos by showing you the pictures of who you're going to be sitting next to in the pool.
Yeah.
They're not showing you the kitchen. So Miami is such a lure, and you can see this town, how many people are just over leveraging themselves, and they end up lost. They live a fake life,
Yeah.
and they're suffering inside.
Well, being real
You know.
is important.
You got to be real.
Yeah,
You got to
it's
be real.
important.
You got to be real. You know, there's a thing in Kabbalah, which is the higher something is, the lower it must fall. So, you know,
Which is true.
which is, you could see that I fell to such a dark place where not only did I lose everything, but next thing you know, I'm stealing from people, and it's not my true self.
Yeah.
And realizing that gave me enough leverage to become spiritual. And after I got spiritual, you know, today I publicly lecture. I lecture all over the world, and the amount of people that have been affected by my classes, it's unbelievable.
The whole
So
world probably
I think
opened up
you
now.
got the same story.
Yeah.
You got the same story because you know, once, you know, they're saying something, once a person has meaning, suffering goes away.
Yeah.
So maybe you had to go through all that in order to become what you're supposed to be today.
It's a possibility. I just wish I didn't have to bring that pain,
Right.
you know, to myself and to my family.
Right. But pain brings growth.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Pain is love.
Pain is love. You know, you come with a broken heart, and there's
Right.
nothing greater than a broken heart.
That's right.
You know, and I think that's the message of the anti-shame, to recognize that after a broken heart comes joy. And there's nothing wrong with coming with a broken heart. It's nothing wrong with it. You know, you're never going to be satisfied 100%. And I think that's the message today, the anti-shame, and really what's next, not this why me mentality.
Yeah.
And I think you're definitely the person to go in, because they're not going to hear me, you know, some people, but they'll definitely hear you.
Yeah.
And I think you have a tremendous opportunity to make a tremendous impact. And again, there's 150 people out there
Yeah.
today that you can make an impact, where before you would have never done that. And I think,
Well, yeah, I mean, I probably was, before I met my mic drop family, I probably would have been too scared to talk
Right.
in front of 150 people.
Right.
Even an interview type of form, which I'm pretty much used to.
Right. Sure. I remember the interviews when they were interviewing. Sure.
Yeah. So, just about overcoming the redemption.
Right.
I think it's my story.
Yeah. I think giving is definitely going to keep you, you know, these events that you do. I think there's no better way. I mean, that's how I'm able to sharpen myself, is to constantly give and help. You know,
Yeah.
you get that constant reflected light. Every time I help somebody else, it comes back to me.
Yeah.
And when I stop, then I start thinking of my problems.
Yeah.
So it forces you to always become a giver. And I think giving is in your soul. You know.
It is in my soul.
You know, and I think that's what you were meant to be.
Yeah.
You know. What are some of your rituals that you know? I wake up, for example. You know, I do an hour of meditation. I do speaking.
I mean, I always
What do
pray.
you normally do in the
I
morning?
always pray. You know, at least 4 times a day. That's 4 meals a day.
Nice, beautiful.
I ask God to bless the food.
Right.
May it nourish me, my mind, my body, my soul. I've been going to church a lot,
Nice.
getting the word.
Nice. What are some of your future plans you got going on?
Well, this public speaking, of course.
Yeah,
Just changing the world,
yeah, that's it.
I guess,
That's it.
every step of the way.
So would you say you're better off now than before? Even with Married to the Kardashians on TV and
yeah, I mean, I
NBA?
went.
Are you in a better state now than before?
Yeah, but that was years ago.
Right.
So when didn't matter who I was married to, I'd be caught up in the addiction.
Right. Takes a lot of courage to say this.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't help yourself. No way you can be that
Right.
brother.
So happy to have you, and I hope you're able to change tons of lives. And I think your message is amazing.
Thank you, bro.
Have a great day.